The other thing, speaking of multiplayer, I finally started It Takes Two. It Takes Two? Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yes.
Which won that Game of the Year award from the Video Game Awards.
And Family Game of the Year.
Oh, yes, that's right. So I'm playing it online with Scoop Jessica, actually, one of our listeners. Because I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, because of the subject matter, I didn't think that it would necessarily be appropriate to play with one of my kids.
Right.
And I gotta say, I mean, we've played a few hours so far, probably into like the fourth area, maybe. Really impressed by the gameplay. Oh my God. Like the asynchronous multiplayer is nice. So basically, like the way, and CJ, I know you've talked about this before, but of course the way it works is that you're each playing as one character and you each get separate sort of abilities in each stage. The stage that we played most recently was we're in a tree and fighting wasps for the squirrel. The squirrels have recruited us to fight wasps and fight the queen wasp. And my character had this like thing that would shoot sap that would blow up, and then her character had like a matchstick bazooka that would blow up the sap. So it's like you had to work in tandem to fight the different bosses. Like we fought a beetle boss where I had to fill up these little buckets with sap, and then we had to try to lure him onto one of them so she could shoot them and cause an explosion. Stuff like that. But every level's like that, and it's a really neat co-op game. And what I really like about the online version of it is that like in co-op, you've probably seen pictures of it, you're each on one half of the screen, and in the online mode you still have split screen, which I've read people and heard people complaining about, but I actually really like, because I like to be able to I think in this game it's important to be able to see what your partner's doing. And also, sometimes it also means if there's a challenge that they're having trouble with, you can help them, right? You can sort of talk them through it. Because one of the things that we have been running into is, and maybe I'm spoiled by Nintendo games at this point, but like if one of us is having trouble with a challenge, the game can really come to a stop. And there doesn't seem to be a good way around some of those situations. But still, it's still a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. And like there's so much variety too. Like there's been shooting levels, and there was one of the last levels we did too as well. Like I was piloting a plane while she was the gunner, while we were being chased by these wasps and everything like that. So it's a lot of cool stuff like that. I will say though, like I said, the subject matter, which of course the story is about two parents that are getting divorced. I so far cannot stand either of them. I don't like them at all. They're not likable.
Yeah.
I know that the whole point is that they're supposed, like they don't get along. But it feels very, I don't even know the way to describe how the dialogue feels. It feels very cliche. They go out of their way to pick at each other. And I feel like, I guess maybe it feels out of place because where you're controlling them and the entire game is based on teamwork right from the word go, right? Like it's not, something that later on you realize you really have to work together. Like literally from the second you start the game, it's about teamwork. But then it feels like it pulls you out of that mindset so that they can bicker. And I know that it's in service of the story, and maybe that gets a lot better later on, but it's very jarring because, okay, let's have a little fight. So have an argument about something, but then go back to this game where we have to do absolutely everything together. I get the message that they're trying to put across there, but so far anyway, I found the writing has fallen completely flat. The only parts that I feel have sort of any kind of weight to them are the scenes where their daughter is trying to interact with their parents because she's so concerned about the fact that they're divorcing. They feel much more real than the parents and their interactions, which is too bad. Although I don't know how you would write it better, but I don't like the way it's been written so far. It's just like, and Jessica and I were talking about that as we were playing, and kind of both feeling the same way. It's like I really don't like either of them. Like I don't like. She had mentioned how, you know, I feel like they're the protagonists. We're supposed to be kind of rooting for them, and I'm not. I just don't like it when they open their mouths. Either of them. I just want them to shut up. You know, and let's get on with this. Let's get on with this great game that their terrible characters have been thrown into. So, again, maybe it gets better. Where, you know, maybe based on how long to beat, we're probably like a third of the way through the game. So maybe that changes a lot. But I got to say, yeah, and I've heard a lot of praise for that. The My Life in Gaming guys did their games we played this year video, and I was watching that, and they both played It Takes Two. And Corey, who's I don't believe Try's married, but Corey's married and has kids. And he said, like, you know, the story had a big impact on him, being a father and a husband. And I'm curious to see if it changed a lot, because right now I don't see it. But anyway, yeah, great game though. The boss fights are fantastic too. They feel very old school, and again, it's all about cooperation. So yeah. Really liking that part of it, at least. Going to keep going on it.